This is the Coach's Wife Life podcast. I'm Kristen Eargle, your host, a former TV sports reporter and fellow college football coach's wife. I'll go one-on-one with the strong women who are the backbone of college athletics and athletics of all levels. And now, Coach's Wife Life.
This podcast is brought to you by Ruler of Hope. Ruler of Hope is a nonprofit that supports medically fragile children. If you'd like to make a tax-deductible donation, you can use Venmo at Ruler-Hope or online at rulerofhope.org.
Hey there, I'm Kristen Eargle, and we have an exciting podcast ahead. But first I want to talk about something we all know way too much about, moving. Just the thought of that can bring an unsettling emotion. Well, I found a team that can take that load off your plate. It's D1 Relocation. This group can do it all. They can organize your move, coordinate with a moving company, and a trusted real estate agent. They can actually vet key household partners such as schools, insurance agents, physicians in the area. They can even help set up your Wi-Fi and water. It's incredible. So I've come to know this team, which is actually founded by a coach's wife. I think you should check it out, whether you're looking to move now or in the future. It's d1relocation.com. Now on to our awesome podcast. It's my honor to bring Missy Peterson on the podcast. Missy is the wife of Jordan. He's the co-defensive coordinator and defensive backs coach at Texas A&M. Thank you so much for being a part of us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk to you.
I know, it's good to catch up. Okay, so we're going to run through the bio a little bit. Your man has spent 4 seasons with the Kansas Jayhawks, defensive backs coach, elevated co-defensive coordinator recently at the conclusion of last season. During the time, mentored some all Big 12 selections, including 2 all Big 12 first team selection, Kobe Bryant. He became the second Jayhawk quarterback in school history, twice to be named all conference. Some other honorable mentions, and just it's been a pretty neat couple of seasons there. You guys finished 8-4, securing a winning record for the first time since 2008. Bowl game berth there. Let's see. It was the first time since 2008 to go to a bowl game, breaking the top 25 for the first time since 2009 after starting season 5-0. So when you think about this past Jayhawk stint, you're moving back home to Texas A&M where you guys went to school. When you think about him as a coach, what do you think makes Jordan dynamic?
He has relationships with his athletes, and I think that's key. And, he also can develop them. So they trust him because they see their improvements. And so it's kind of a double-edged sword there. You've got the relationship part of it, the trust, and they're also like, hey, I'm getting better. This is amazing. I'm going to keep listening to you because whatever you're telling me to do is working. So I think that's where he excels.
Okay, so where did you grow up, and did you ever see yourself as a coach's wife?
Okay, so I grew up in Katy, Texas. I never thought I would be in the football industry or the coaching world. I was not ever a football fan, didn't go to high school football games, went to college football games when I went to Texas A&M because that's where the tailgate was. That's where my friends were on Saturdays. And so, no, I never saw this for myself. I am a football fan now, but was definitely never predicted I would be in this world or living anywhere but Texas, honestly.
Yeah. And you've moved around quite a bit. What are the other schools you have? I don't have it right in front of me. You've gone up.
We've been kind of lucky. We haven't had to move a crazy amount, relatively speaking, but we have lived in Fresno, California for 5 years. We moved back. We're in San Marcos at Texas State for about 6 months and then took a job at New Mexico. So we were in Albuquerque for 3 years. And then we've been in Lawrence for 4.
Wow. Now, how did you guys meet? You both were at Texas A&M.
Yes. We met at a party. He's from a really small town, and my neighbors in College Station were also from that small town and invited us to a little house party. And Jordan walked in the room and we played beer pong that night. And then we were friends for probably another year and a half before I finally went on a date with him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We were,
Both played that a bit.
yeah, I mean, he's a good recruiter, as they say. He didn't take no for an answer. So we finally went on a date, and then from there it was like, okay, yeah, this is done.
And then how many years have y'all been married?
We are coming up on year 13. We got married in 2011.
And then I see one child behind you. You have 3 beautiful children. There she is. They're gorgeous.
Thank you.
I love it. Okay, tell me their names.
Ellie, Emery, and Everly. Ellie, Emmy, and Evie. 2 were born in New Mexico, and 1 was born in Fresno, California. So yeah, and now we've always told them they're Texans.
Right.
So now they get to actually be Texans.
They do. They're going to get their official indoctrination there for sure. Go to Texas school. They'll have to learn the song. Do they still do that where they put their hand on their heart and sing to the Texas flag?
Oh yeah, honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas. Yeah.
Other states don't do that. I
learned
that. I grew up in Texas, and I was like, no, we didn't do that in Tennessee.
Nope. Yeah, it's totally a Texas thing. So.
That's awesome. Okay, so we talk about in the podcast, and everything is just the perfect day in the life, getting to fly to the wives' trips and bowl games and all the things. There are tough moments. So what would you say some of the tougher moments have been, and what did you rely on to get through those moments?
The toughest moments, I think, when a head coach gets let go, and obviously everyone knows that means the staff is most likely out the door with them. Our first experience with that was at Fresno State. We were there 5 seasons. That was Jordan's first job. So he didn't know anyone really. I mean, he had a small little group of coaches that he was familiar with. And we were really, still young and terrified he wasn't going to find anything else. We actually moved back home. We moved in with my parents, and we were there. I think we were there for, I think we knew it was 5 months, I think, without a job. He finally got a job in March. But that was really kind of okay. Like we can be unemployed. Like we hadn't experienced that yet. And that was terrifying, but I think we just got through it like, okay, well, this is the life we chose, and we're going to stick it out, and something's going to come up. And we just prayed about it and, enjoyed the time that he was getting to be home. I mean, although we were stressed, we tried to just be present with each other, and we had Ellie at the time.
Wow.
And that was hard to get through, but we got through it. And then, at Kansas, we had the same thing happen. He got demoted when a new head coach came in to an analyst position off the field, and then had to, continue to be on the staff and do his job and help the team succeed, but swallow all of that pride up because you took a demotion, but you're still there, and that was really difficult. And it was the staff that your friends got fired from, and it was hard, but we stuck it out. And the next season he got promoted back onto the field, and so that was. Obviously we were thrilled, but we were also really glad he had an opportunity to leave, and we decided just to stay and see what happened. And we ended up back on the field, and, you read the bio, so it was the right decision for us. But that was very difficult.
Crushing moments, especially for the most recent one at Kansas. It's hard to, because obviously we were on that staff.
Yeah.
And that Run 21 recruiting class is what you're seeing the results of right now. that are winning. And Jordan was a part of recruiting that. And then watching somebody else coach his players and recruits that were coming in. And what do you think how did he show Coach Leipold, he could be loyal, and how did he prove himself, do you think?
I think he just handled himself really well. He, would come home and vent to me, but I think day to day, he really just showed that he was a team player. He was able to just, swallow the pride and help everyone succeed. And he did. He did little extra reports and probably just went above and beyond what an analyst is asked to do. And I think it just got noticed that, he knew what he was doing. He also, because he had been a position coach the year before, he had a really close relationship with those players, which I don't think, that didn't hurt, that they could see that the players really trust him. So a combination of that, and it worked out. It doesn't always work like that, but you just have to keep trying and keep trying to prove yourself, and it ended up working out for us. But
what do you say to him when he's discouraged? Because all of our coaches go through discouragement at some time of their life. If they haven't gone through any yet, then they will. How do you keep him encouraged? You guys are really close. You're an incredible recruiter. I've seen you recruit one. So you're very involved, but how do you keep him going when he's just kind of having one of those moments like, gosh, is this going to pan out? Because at that moment, you're doing, you don't really see yourself, hey, you know what? In a couple of years, I'm going to be co-DC at Texas A&M.
Definitely not.
At that point.
Not at all. I think for me, I just really tried to do what he was doing and follow his lead and ingrain myself with the new staff wives. And just, again, like, I had to swallow my pride of like, well, okay, that was my husband's job last year, but just really just say, okay, this is what we're doing, and we're here for KU, and we're all on board. And I think that helped him, helped me. We just kind of decided we're in this together. So I did everything I could on my side to really just become part of that circle of the new staff. Instead of isolating myself and being mad, I just dove in and said, okay, this is what it is, but I'm just gonna try to befriend everyone, and everyone's been amazing to us, so I don't regret that at all.
Isn't that incredible though? Like, humility, they saw who you are, as people. They saw your character. And I think that's a lesson for all of us to learn. We're all put in situations at some point that
for sure
aren't our favorite, or don't understand why somebody else was picked. But how, you choose to handle that really is going to have long-term impacts.
For sure.
And for your kids too, because they're going to remember this season. You're old enough to realize what is happening. Yeah.
We just as easily could have isolated ourselves and been bitter. I got to give credit to Jordan. He's the one. He was, he's in meetings, and they're like, okay, just the assistants, and he's being asked to leave, and it's just like, it's but he did it. So I can't. I would say to him all the time, I don't know that I would be that mature as much as I would want to be. It's just but he knew what he had to do. So
yeah. And now look at him getting to go back home as a co-DC at the alma mater where he played at A&M. Pretty special. And you think about looking at life through the past several years, what do you think you've made a priority in your life that has really helped you be a successful coach's wife, and maybe him handle some of the things he's handled?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Made a priority. I think just putting our family first and making sure that everything at home is handled. He doesn't have, I mean, he's a great dad and all of that, but I just feel like I'm the director of household ops, just taking care of literally everything else so that he can just focus on what he needs to get done. Because we all want him to succeed. We all, you know how it is. His success is our success, and we just want to support him. So just try to remind the kids that, and they've been great. And yeah, that's.
Okay, so I think you have a secret weapon as well. I think you're a really good recruiter.
Well, thank you. I feel like parents have always liked me. So
you talked to some moms before. So I was going to ask you, what few things do you think you've done that's contributed to the success of his career? I would say recruiting. What other things do you think you've done?
Oh gosh. Yeah, recruiting. I mean, I definitely try to connect with the mamas on the recruiting visits. I always, obviously we have the players over. One thing I do every season is make, it's gotten really out of hand, but make little gift bags for each game for each player. But we take individual requests. So I am running all over town every week because it changes week to week what they want. Getting like, gosh, what was the weirdest thing? King's Hawaiian rolls, like a Pedialyte, like, I mean, whatever, they have the oddest requests and each kid has something different. So it's been, I get so excited when I don't have to, I'm like, oh, I don't have to do anything this week. The season's over. It's a bye because it's so stressful. But it's like, we started it and then we were winning. So I'm like, well, we can't stop now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of become a beast, but I do love doing that. And I write them each just a little personal note, nothing crazy, but something personal to each of his players now, just for his position, obviously not anything beyond that. So like 7-8 bags, but and I don't know that really helps anything, but I feel like that's my little contribution. Let the guys know we care, and we appreciate all the hard work they put in.
Absolutely. Okay, so practical things. When do you move? You're about to move now. Do you typically wait till the end of the school year? What are your moving tips? Have you moved cross country before?
We have. This is my first time moving with a 4th grader. The last time we moved here, Ellie was in kindergarten, and that's a lot different as far as the social dynamics. So I have talked to other coaches' wives, and I think the consensus is to move at spring break if you can, so that the kids can meet some friends before summer and then kind of, know some people going into the next school year. And so that's what we're aiming for. As of now, we're going to close on a house in College Station on March 15th. So we'll be probably moving the week after that. I don't have a ton of tips. If you get offered the packing and the unpacking, take it.
Yeah, for sure.
We've definitely tried to keep the stipend and try to do it ourselves, and it is not worth it. At this point in life, I'm like, it's not. We've got the pods. We've tried to do it alone, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
If you have that option, take it.
I know. The first 10 years, I think we moved ourselves, maybe even more. And now I'm like, oh no, I can't do it anymore.
Well, and we just moved. I mean, we just bought a house here in Lawrence in May, and we moved in July. So I'm like, I can't.
You just did this.
I can't move again. But we're gonna do it. But I'm definitely gonna take the help this time.
Yeah, you should. Okay, so how do you get connected in a new community? Is it more through the coaches' wives, or do you have other ways that you really try to dive in?
I mean, through kids. I think I had a hard time, especially when we moved to Fresno. I was 24. I had obviously not obviously, but I had no children, just out of college, and I had never lived outside of Texas. And really most of the other wives had grown kids or high school kids. And I felt like that was really hard for me to figure out where I fit in and find a community. I was working, but it was a really small company and didn't really find friendship there. But now with children, it is a lot easier. You just get kind of ingrained in their sports and their activities and their school. So I've really found a community through that. And also the coaches' wives are key and they can kind of make or break your experience at a school. So we've been lucky with you, and now the new people here are great. So
I missed our time at the Jayhawk Club.
And that's a great spot.
That was a great hangout spot for sure.
Yeah.
For everybody watching, Kansas Jayhawks has some works. That was a highlight of our life there.
Amazing perk.
That's the best. Okay. So this business is so competitive. Has there ever been a job that you thought your husband would get without telling us what it is? And then how did you keep encouraged through that process? I mean, obviously you sort of talked about this already. How do you keep them? Are you texting him different quotes? Do you just listen to him? What's your way of just keeping him going?
Yeah, I think songs, different songs. There's the new is it Jason Kelsey documentary?
Yeah.
There's a song on there that we both really like about your cape. I don't know if you've heard it, but
yeah.
Anyway, we'll send each other things like that. He's definitely had some interviews that we thought, oh, this is it. When he was, I think, 26, he interviewed at Oklahoma State, and it was him and another candidate, and we were like, oh my gosh, Oklahoma State! Like it was, dream job, and yeah, it was pretty crushing. But we've also gotten older and been through this more, and you just learn that rejection is going to happen. But even I think we look at it now as if you got the opportunity to interview, that's kind of a win, because I feel like that even is so hard in this business to even get your foot in the door, get somebody to, let you talk football with them. It seems, it's not easy. So if you just get the interview, then you got to feel good about yourself.
Oh, for sure. Do you guys do date night?
Well, he's been living in College Station since January, so we have had very little interaction. And he's home this weekend, but I thought about, oh, should we get a sitter, go for a date? But I'm also like, he hasn't seen his kids in 2 weeks. So we'll do family date night.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Maybe once we move, we'll incorporate that. We've never been the football couple that has like a standing date night. We've just not, but maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe so. There was a season of my life where we don't live close to campus right now because it's just Miami and it's huge, but like a lunch when the kids are on school, I really liked. We used to try to do a lunch thing every so often.
That's a great idea.
Able to do that when you hit College Station. I don't know how far you're going to be from campus, but
no, yeah, I don't think we'll be too far. But yeah, that's a great idea, because then you're not feeling like, how it is. They don't see their kids much either, so you don't want to abandon the kids.
You always feel guilty for taking him away.
Exactly.
Oh, it's such a hard season when you're trying to share.
Exactly.
Do you have a coach's wife mentor? Do you have someone you kind of talk through things with?
I do, yeah. I've always looked up to Kara DeRuiter. They were he was the DC at A&M when Jordan started as a GA, and then they took us. He was the head coach at Fresno State. And Kara is just the most amazing, just one of those wives that you are so lucky if you get to be on a staff with her. As a GA, I mean, Jordan, he was, I don't know, 20, 21, 22, just finished playing, and we got engaged. She threw us an engagement party, big to do. She's just always gone above and beyond. She threw me a baby shower. She sends gifts still to my kids randomly. And we went to their son's wedding last summer in California. We've just stayed really close with them. And I always, aim to be more like Kara, just very generous with her time and always thinking of other people, and just makes everyone feel appreciated, which is ultimately what everyone wants, so that's my
She's
mentor.
amazing. I always think about that too, because you think about when people are having babies, like we are their sphere of influence.
Yeah, I had three babies and three showers hosted by coaches' wives. So I feel so lucky for that, because they don't have family around, and can't always fly back for that. So
yeah. Okay. So if you think about it, a lot has changed from the time you were there in California to now. We have NIL, we have the transfer portal all the time. Has it changed at all how you guys have approached some of this?
Well, I think approach, I'm not sure. That the thing that is crazy, and you know this too, is the time that they used to be off, they're not off anymore. So I don't know. We're just figuring out how to navigate that. It's constant recruiting of your own players, of new players, transfer portal. I mean, and then the financial piece of it is huge now too, which it's you're recruiting your own players to stay on your own staff because they're getting offers, elsewhere. So I think we've just found it important to keep the relationships with your players, and that's all you really can do at this point.
When you do get downtime, what do you enjoy doing?
Just spending time with our kids. We usually spend all our downtime not all, we go on little trips, but we go straight to Texas and hang out with our families. So now I'm like, I don't know what we're going to be in Texas. Our families are going to be there. So I don't know what we're going to have to start traveling more. But no, we like to just travel and hang out with family.
Yeah.
And Jordan, of course, if he has downtime, he wants to sleep and do nothing.
Sure.
So, it's more me dragging him places.
Are you in Netflix? Are you a book? Do you read books? What's your thing?
I listen to audiobooks. I haven't been watching any TV lately because with kids, if the TV's on, it's something they want. And by the time they go to bed, I'm too exhausted to stay up and watch anything. So I'm way behind on all the new Netflix shows, or any shows really. And podcasts are great too. Anything I can kind of listen to while I'm, doing all my chores.
What would you say is the most rewarding aspect about being a coach's wife?
I think just getting to see your husband succeed, has been so rewarding for me in ways that I didn't realize would be. But it's, like I said earlier, his success is our success, and so I've loved getting to see him grow in his career and succeed. So.
Pretty special stuff. When you got the call that you're getting to go to A&M, what was your reaction?
I cried. I cried. Jordan was in Houston recruiting, and he just called me. He FaceTimed me, and he just did this. We both have Aggie rings. Of course, my daughter drew on my hand there. So when you graduate from A&M, you have the opportunity to get an Aggie ring. So we both have our Aggie rings, and he just put that in the camera, and I was like, no, and just tears. I was like, oh my gosh. So I knew it was something he really wanted, and kind of a dream job, being that he played there. So it was just really special.
Incredible. Excited for you. Okay, rapid fire. Are you ready?
No.
Well, you're like me. You don't have time to read a book. But what was the last book you have read?
Alice the Fairy at mystery reader in Emery's kindergarten class.
I was like, I haven't heard of this.
Yeah, no, it was yesterday. That is the last book I read.
I never do blank at a game.
Oh gosh, I never do. I don't engage with fans that are not being nice. Just, if I have to walk away, I walk away. Also, I never watch the whole game because I get too stressed. I have to look away at certain points, or get up and pace. So
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever probably watched an entire game.
If you finally get a night alone, what show would you binge watch? What's your go-to?
Well, I've heard the new season of Love is Blind is really good. So maybe that. If I could convince Jordan to watch it with me.
Okay. What is your go-to meal to cook?
Anything in the crock pot. I don't know that I have a go-to. My kids love homemade chicken noodle soup, or anything that, like I said, anything I can throw in the crock pot quickly and have dinner done.
All inclusive. What sport can you beat Jordan in?
Okay. He's so athletic. I don't think there's anything I could beat him in, except maybe a marathon. I've run a marathon and he hasn't, so I don't know that he has that endurance.
Well, we have to pause and say how often. I know right now you're not running right now, but a marathon. Hello.
Just one. I only did it once. He actually ran a half marathon with me. I made him back before we had kids. I tricked him into it. I was like, let's go to San Francisco for the weekend. And then I told him 2 days before, I signed us up for a half marathon. And he did great. But I don't think he could do a whole one. So maybe if that's a sport, that's what I win in. Everything else, he can beat me.
Okay, what would be your walk-up song?
4 Non-Blondes. What's Up? You know that song?
No. I'm going to quickly.
It's like, I said, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know that one?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like that's my go-to.
That's your vibe.
My hype song.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast. This has been so much fun to catch up.
I'm so glad we got to talk.
This podcast is brought to you by Ruler of Hope. Ruler of Hope is a nonprofit that supports medically fragile children. If you'd like to make a tax-deductible donation, you can use Venmo at Ruler-Hope or online at rulerofhope.org.
For a replay of this episode or previous episodes, visit coacheswifelife.org and follow us on social media at Coaches Wife Life.